55, chaos on the Vegas Strip.
Get down! We have multiple casualties. GSW's in the medical tent. Multiple casualties.
More than 55 killed, 515 hurt in the mayhem. The shooter opening fire from a hotel window onto a concert crowd below.
People paralyzed by fear, waiting for the shooting to stop.
The shots just kept coming.
More complete coverage starts now.
Now, from Omaha's news leader, KETV NewsWatch 7 at 5 starts with breaking news.
I called my mother and told her that there was an active shooter, and I had to go. I had to run.
Phone calls and text messages to loved ones, not knowing if it would be the last time. Some of those heart-wrenching texts even sent to one of our own here at KETV. That story and more from Nebraskans in Las Vegas just ahead. But first, we need to break down what happened and where the investigation stands right now.
It is the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, and it started as country music singer Jason Aldean sang across the street from the Mandalay Hotel. The first call to 911 coming in at 10:08 local time. Authorities identified the shooter as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock of Nevada. They say he took his own life in the 32nd floor hotel room he used as a sniper's nest. His brother says he made millions in real estate investing and is now at a loss for words.
There's just nothing. We got nothing to give you. There's just nothing. He was just a guy.
With the latest update, investigators put that number of lives lost at 58 and more than 515 people injured in some way during the mayhem. The number of families and loved ones impacted, too great to count.
We know that at least one of the victims is from Iowa, Jake Henderson of Harlan.
As we said, Paddock allegedly shot from his hotel room right across the street into those concert goers. The scene was right along the Vegas Strip. ABC's Lana Zach is on the ground and continues our coverage.
The gunfire came too quickly to count. Bullets tearing into a crowd of 22,000 people who were out to just enjoy a night of music on the Vegas Strip. Country music star Jason Aldean in the middle of a set when the hail of bullets rained down.
Like some were falling and some were screaming and yelling.
People just started dropping around us. A lot of dead bodies. A lot of people were just piling on top of whoever, even if they're bleeding or not.
We ran and we ran. And I still wasn't even sure if it was actually bullets until one of the times we paused, our friend was like, the guy next to us got shot.
Police officers jumping into action.
Upstairs, Mandalay Bay, halfway up. I see the shots coming from Mandalay Bay.
Closing in on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, where authorities say the gunman, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, was holed up. Police say he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound before SWAT teams burst into his room. The death toll rising all day.
The number of people that have died associated with this event has increased. Right now, we're using the number of 58.
More than 500 injured. President Trump among those reacting to the tragedy.
We are joined together today in sadness, shock, and grief.
This is a crazed lunatic full of hate.
Police believe that he was acting as a lone wolf. They see no ties to any international terror groups, and he wasn't previously known to law enforcement. So at this point, his motive still remains an incomprehensible mystery. Reporting from Las Vegas, Lana Zach, ABC News.
And thousands learned about what was happening in Vegas overnight from the loved ones who were right near the chaos.
KETV NewsWatch 7 meteorologist and reporter Alex Alisi received these terrifying texts from his sister Brianne. The first reading, "I love you so much and I'm so lucky to have you as my little brother." Another describing the situation inside the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Brianne writes, "They just made us get down, told us to stay down and out of the line of fire." Both Brianne and her husband are safe.
And they shared their terrifying experience with KETV NewsWatch 7's Lauren Robinson.
I still can't believe it happened. It feels like a bad dream.
A fun trip to Vegas turned upside down when bullets began to fly.
We were here celebrating his birthday. Tonight was supposed to be our big night out.
Brianne Angelo is KETV NewsWatch 7 meteorologist Alex Alisi's older sister. Visiting from Connecticut, she and her husband were inside Mandalay Bay for a Cirque du Soleil show when the fatal shots were fired.
oddly, on the way there, we passed by where the festival was taking place. And my husband and I looked at each other, and he asked me why I didn't get tickets to that instead.
They agreed to go to the country music festival after their show.
So if this was an hour later that it happened, things could have been very different.
But the show never finished. Instead, the hotel went on lockdown.
The officer immediately yelled at the person who controlled the lights to turn all the lights off and for everyone to get down. And that right there was the scariest moment of my life.
Preparing for the worst, Bree sent messages to her loved ones.
I was texting Alex during this, and I was like, this might be it. I don't know what's going to happen.
Bree says she used her EMT experience to stay calm and help where needed, guided by her husband's military experience.
At one point, I turned and looked at him and told him that I love him more than anything else, and am so happy that we are together, no matter what happens.
Lauren Robinson, KETV, NewsWatch 7.
And Brianne says her husband has a permit to carry a gun and usually has it with him, but didn't last night. The couple says they are not going to let this attack cut their vacation short.
More eyewitness accounts from Nebraskans near last night's killing field.
Yeah, KETV NewsWatch 7's Chin Doan continues our team coverage. Chin.
Yeah, that's right. I've talked to several of them who were at the concert and others who were near the shooting scene, all thankful to be alive and coming home. And among them, David Lemp from Omaha. He was at the music festival Friday and Sunday nights. Lemp says he and his friend, a woman from Nebraska, were listening to Jason Aldean on the side closest to Mandalay Bay where the gunman reportedly shot from. Lemp describes the gunfire as breaking out in two waves. First, confusion, then chaos once people realized what was happening. It was then a free-for-all, running for safety.
We immediately got up, started running for a better spot with what we thought would be more cover. But it was very difficult to determine where the gunfire was coming from.
There was also a group of Nebraskans from Crete who were there for a travel agent convention. Don Wynick tells me they were outside a nearby hotel when they were told to go inside and were on lockdown until this morning. Wynick says this is what it looks like this afternoon from his hotel room at the Excalibur Hotel. Somber, but still with law enforcement presence. Now coming up at 6, hear from a Nebraskan who was in the same hotel as the shooter. She describes what it was like as authorities pointed guns at her and searched her room. Reporting live, Chin Doan, KETV, NewsWatch 7.
All right, Chin, thank you. Investigators in Nevada just told us they retrieved in excess of 18 additional guns, some explosives, and several rounds of ammo from the accused shooter's home in Mesquite. And they updated the death toll. 59 people are now known to have died, 527 injured. Continuing coverage of today's developments from Nevada following this newscast. ABC World News Tonight will have live reports from the shooting scene.
Well, more breaking news at 5 o'clock. A standoff ends peacefully at a La Vista apartment complex. It happened this afternoon at the Shadow Ridge Apartments near 84th and Granville Parkway. Officers say they were serving a citation to a man who was making harassing phone calls. Police thought they heard a rifle and they backed off. They later made contact with that person and ended the situation without incident. And updating breaking news from this morning, police say a pickup truck drove off after hitting and killing a pedestrian near 72nd and Center. This was just after 5 o'clock this morning, or just before 5 rather. Right now, officers are looking for a black or dark gray Chevy Silverado extended or crew cab pickup. It's a newer model, either 2016 or 17, possibly with a grille and a passenger headlight damage. The victim has been identified as 34-year-old Antoine Fan of Omaha.
3 armed robbers kicked down the door at a Bellevue University apartment Sunday night, holding those inside at gunpoint. They're pretty recognizable in security camera pictures. Other angles caught even closer looks. One guy wearing a gray Nike hoodie, another wearing an orange North Face sweatshirt. Officers say 2 had guns and got away with stuff from inside the apartment. If you know anything or recognize the suspects, call Sarpy County Crime Stoppers. The number is on your screen, 402-592-STOP.
More reported robberies at Metro gas stations. About 1:45 this afternoon, an armed man in a bandana held up AB's 66 at 50th and Underwood in Dundee. This morning, a holdup at the Buc-ee's at 102nd and Maple. A man in a gray hoodie, hat, and jeans pulled a gun and ran away with cash. Crooks hit that same store 4 days ago. And it's the third Buc-ee's to get robbed since Sunday morning. Someone got away with cash from the 132nd and Maple location just before midnight last night. A similar story at the 60th and Center Buc-ee's around 3:30 Sunday morning. Well, jury selection begins for an alleged gang member that prosecutors say shot his victim as target practice. Investigators say Malik Stelly killed 28-year-old D'Angelo Branch near 36 and Laurel last January. We're told officers found a cell phone belonging to Stelly near the crime scene, bullet casings. Stelly faces a first-degree murder charge.
The man seen chasing a woman through a West Omaha hotel gets at least 15 years in prison. 29-year-old Zachary Person pleaded guilty to felony attempted sexual assault. He'll now sit on the sex offender registry for life. A judge today said Person should have looked for treatment any one of the 29 times police arrested him before.
Well, now to tonight's weather.
Yeah, we're tracking more chances for rain even after a pretty noisy night. Chief Meteorologist Bill Randy with the Upfront forecast to play in your evening. Hi, Bill.
Hi, David, Melissa. Warm and humid this afternoon. That is a live look from our Skycam network. And here in the Omaha Metro, it's muggy and warm downtown. We have a current temperature of 83 degrees with partly cloudy skies downtown. There are some showers around now up between Benson and Florence, also down here around Sarpy County, around Springfield. These moving northeastward. Nothing very long lasting, but a brief shower downpour. And then it looks like later on this evening we'll get a break and heavier rains will occur out here in northeast Nebraska, where there are flash flood watches. Some rain just started to get going there. So that'll be the story around the Omaha area this evening. Very mild, breezy overnight tonight. Then the rain chances in the picture again Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's the evening, a rain chance maybe through 6 or 7. Otherwise partly cloudy for the bulk of the evening around Omaha.
You're watching Omaha's news leader, KETV NewsWatch 7 with David Earl, Melissa Fry, and your Weather Now forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Randby. Live from 7 Burlington Station. This is KETV NewsWatch 7 at 5.